Hey, what's up guys, it's G. Welcome back to the channel, PrintZebra. And today I'm going to show you guys how to print and cut on Silhouette Cameo. I don't use Silhouette Cameo that much, but I do use it enough. So I'm going to just show you guys what I know and my method on how I use this for a plus. This should work for the 3, Silhouette Cameo 4, and for the Pro. If that's something you're interested in, let's get into it. For this video, we're going to open up this design. You guys could do it with whatever design that you want. As long as you follow the steps, it should work pretty good. Click on designs, go here, grab the PrintZebra logo. The good thing about Silhouette Studio is that you could use a JPEG or a PNG. Let's resize it to fit in there. Now the first thing you want to do is do your page setup. Click over here in the right corner, open the page setup panel. Now we're using the Cameo Plus, which is the Silhouette Cameo 4, but it cuts 15 inches wide. You have to set your cutting mat. So I'm going to be using the Cameo Plus cutting mat. It's a clear mat that came with the Cameo, and it's a good mat. I like using it. My paper size that I'm using today, which is, by the way, Forever SUBLI 202, which is a transfer paper that you could sublimate on. We're going to use sublimation ink to print this, and then we're going to cut it out with our Cameo, and then we're going to press it on the shirt. We're going to set this to 11 by, and that goes to 15 because of the size of the media, the cutting mat. It doesn't go past 15, but if you wanted to, you could just click this and it will let you go further than that, but we don't need to because we do know that we have 11 by 17 paper, but our mat is only 11 by 15. We don't want to cut beyond the mat. Besides that, our design is not that big that we need all of that length down at the bottom. So once you got everything set up, on here you could click show the print border. See the registration marks? Click on it. Turn them on. Now that we got the registration marks turned on, this is gonna allow our cutter to know where our design is. What I mean by that is, first things you want to do is get your design. We need to reverse it right now. We need to mirror it, because when we print it, we want it mirrored so when it goes on the shirt, it be correct. So I'm gonna flip this design right now. What I did was I right clicked on the design, then I went down, left click on flip horizontally. As you can see, it's like a red line already around our design. It looks like that's exactly what I wanted to cut. We're going to do a couple more things to make sure everything comes out exactly the way we want it to come out. In the advanced options, this is where you could adjust the thickness of these registration marks. If you want it to be thicker, your cutter could see it. You can make it thicker, but we don't need to do that. But if you want to, you can. Just for the video's sake, we'll do it. You come here, click on print bleed, and then you change the bleed radius. Put it around 100. And if you want to get more precise, you could just put it there. Anyway, you put that in there, and that should help make sure that it cuts very, very close to the lines. Now that we got that done, all we have to do is print. First thing you want to do is come over here, you go to file, you go to print page setup. I want to first change my page size. We got 11 by 17 page. We put it right here, 11 by 17. That's preset. You could go into the settings and just, put it your way. We're going to be using this printer today, the EPSON Workforce 7710. Prints up to 13 by 19. I've converted it to a sublimation printer. You hit OK. Now what I want to do before we do anything else is I want to test this, and you guys could be my witness with the testing, is that I want to cut a smaller one of this also on the same page, so we can see if it does good when it does, like how does it do when you do it really small, and how small, I guess, can we do it. We're going to duplicate this and make it a little smaller right under there where we have the excess paper. And now we'll move PZ up to the top. We'll make one smaller just to make sure, first of all, to make sure it fits. It's the main reason we're doing it a little smaller, but we're going to do it a little smaller, and it's going to help us figure out if we can even do them smaller. I do believe that this is already pre-traced. I don't know if you have to trace it, but I am going to trace it. But it does look like it's pre-traced. It has the red line around it, just like if I trace it. I should just leave it, but if you guys know that I don't have to trace it, if the line is there already, leave that in the comments. If not, I'm trying it in the next video. Let's open up the trace panel. Select the trace area. If you guys don't know where the trace panel is, it is the 5th icon down from the right side. It looks like a piece of toast. Or you could come to File and then open up the trace panel there. You can click right here, select trace area, trace outer edge. Now that we got it traced, it's time to print it. Do not move this design once you trace it and you print it. If you move it, when the Cameo goes to cut it, it'll be wrong. Now that you got everything in place and you got everything traced, you are ready to print. First thing you want to do is go to Print Page Setup. You select your printer, which mine is already selected. It's the EPSON Workforce 7710, and the paper size we're going to be using is 11 by 17. We click OK, and now we go to Print. Once your printing is complete, you want to give it a few minutes to let it dry, because you don't want to touch it or put it inside of the cutter while it's wet, because if you do, you'll smudge up the paper. Load your design onto the mat. As you see, I got mine on the mat. Load it into the Cameo. You want to come back over here to the computer, and one last thing. So it doesn't double cut, this is what I do. I'll take this design and I'll move it. I'll take this design and I'll move it. And now we don't get double cuts. Now I'm ready to hit send. So you see where the machine is gonna cut. Put your settings depending on what kind of media that you have. I got mine set to glitter. Now that I got my settings set, we're gonna go ahead and click send. Now I want mine sent as is. I don't want it mirrored, I don't want it flipped. I do that ahead of time. And now I'm gonna send it as is. Okay guys, I believe that was done very quick. It took 1 minute and 40 something seconds. After the design is finished cutting and you eject it from the Cameo, you want to start weeding your design, removing all of the excess paper that we don't need. I like to start from the corners. So this peels up pretty easy. Do you see how clean that is around the design? That's what I was aiming for, to make sure that we had a nice clean cut around the edges. Now this part is a little tricky because we have other parts like paint splatters that's here, so we're gonna save that for last. We got everything nice and weeded, nice and clean, just the way we wanted it. Now we can heat up our heat press. So now we're gonna heat up our heat press. 356 for 15 seconds. Since it's almost up to temp, let's get this shirt prepped. And what I mean by prepped is we're gonna do a 5 to 7 second demoisturization press to get any moisture out of the shirt. Okay, now that we got our shirt fully prepped, let's get our design ready. Now, this is a Gildan 5000 t-shirt. I'll leave a link in the description for all of the materials and supplies that I used in this video. Now our heat press should be up to temp. What I'm gonna do is give it a quick 2-second press just to flatten out that little middle crease a little bit more. Let's put our design right in the middle, right where we want it. Cover it with Teflon paper, and as you see, we up to 356. We got it set for 15 seconds. We're gonna do one 15-second press. Okay, if you like this video, make sure you hit that like button, get subbed up. This is cold peel. You want to make sure this is completely cool, so you let it cool off. Right now we're going to do the first peel. So you want to be careful with this. You want to keep it nice and low too. Keep it low and roll it. Now we're going to have to press it another 15 seconds to get the colors to fully pop. Now we got color. This is the color we was aiming for. Right here is where you want to give it one more press for 30 seconds with a Teflon sheet covering it. And what you want to do here is just take your Teflon paper up. As you see, Teflon paper is perfectly fine. And we have our shirt complete. So now, can you see that? PrintZebra. Print your own style. We're gonna be putting this right here on the left chest area. Now we got our design right where we want it. Get it ready for the first press. And we're gonna do it a little different. 45 seconds, and that's gonna be it. And we do have full color, so we're gonna let that cool, and then we're gonna peel it. All right, so we're gonna start peeling this. Get this off right quick. You can see how shiny it looks. Some people like the shine, some people don't, but we're gonna go ahead and give it another 15-second press, making a total of 60 seconds for this design to be complete. So now, that makes it a little bit more matte on the shirt. So that's how you print and cut on a t-shirt and on a polo. Thanks for watching. I'm out.